So, since the last time I saw you, we did pick our club, and we've almost finished an entire season with them. Season 4 of On The Med's been really good so far. Hello and welcome back to another episode of our On The Med recaps with me, Dan, aka DeeBoiPlays, and we are having, like I say, an incredible time in Gibraltar. We did settle on Manchester 1962. Last one of these we were talking about potentially going over to Turkey, and I alluded to the fact that I was kind of already in love with the idea of managing this team. We did pick them eventually, and yeah, it's been a wicked year so far. First thing I do want to point out, once again, the wonderful Ziggurat. If you're not following him, please make sure you drop him a follow because he's a great guy. Has made a couple of kits for us, and they're kind of based on old Man United shirts, and they are sponsored by tribute bands to Manchester bands because we are kind of a tribute team to a Manchester club. Anyway, let's talk about how our season's gone. You can see we're on the 14th of April. We've pretty much played an entire season in 2 streams. So, our league campaign, my God, it was a bit of a rebuild to start with in terms of the team because there's some really, let's call them irritating rules in the Gibraltar League. You have to have 5 Gibraltans who are trained at club or nation of the league in your starting 11 at all times. So in your playing 11, you have to have 5 Gibraltans, which, as you can imagine, finding 5 Gibraltans that are good is very challenging. We'll get onto the transfers of them in a moment, but let's just enjoy the league form. Oh my God, only 1 loss all year against Glacus United, sorry. 3 draws, 1 against Lincoln, one against Lynx, and 1 against Europa Point. But the rest, my word, we've absolutely smashed this league. And if we have a look at the competition in the league phase, we have absolutely stormed it. 16 wins, 51 points, 10 points clear of Lincoln Red Imps, and we have made it into the championship group. So what happens is the top 6 teams, they go into their own mini league, they all play each other once, and at the end of that they decide who the victor is. And with a 10-point cushion, you can't help but think we're pretty much the favourites to win this. And including that, obviously, yeah, we've made it to the final of the Rock Cup as well, which is their, like, FA Cup, I guess. And we're going to be playing against either Magpies or Europa Point in the final. I imagine it'll be Magpies, considering they are the better of the 2 teams. But whoever it is, I'm so optimistic of doing the double. Yeah, and if you look at that schedule again, really, we've got those 3 games. If we win those 3 games, we have won everything in our first year with Gibraltar, which is a huge achievement, and I'll be really ecstatic if we manage to do that. Let's talk about the transfers that we made first, though. So, as you can see, the ins that we made, the first thing that we had to take care of, really, for the team was bringing in the Gibraltans. I think we had 6 at the start of the season, and they were all youth players that had been promoted to the first team, all grey stars and just not good players at all. So we did spend quite a chunk of time hunting around for them, and we basically made the focus, let's find some Gibraltans. And the players that we managed to bring in, of these chaps here, I believe all of those lads that we've got there, 6 out of those 7 are Gibraltans. Let's have a little look at them. First one we brought in was Lee Coombs. Looks absolutely fine as a centre-back, 6'1". He can't jump for toffee, but he can head, he can sort of tackle, and he's done really well for us, to be fair. He's in the league, he's on a 6.83, which I'll take. He's also a Gibraltar international, so that helps us out a lot. Good player to bring in. Next one was Alan Pons. Really solid left-back, like absolutely incredible. He's on a 6.73 in the league and a 9 in the cup. And that's mainly because his duty as our left wing-back, our left-back on wing-back duties, is just to whip the ball into the box. And he does that incredibly well. Richard Head, this is a nicknamed player, and we'll get on to why he's been nicknamed Richard Head in a moment, but an absolutely fine centre mid, decent option for us, does the job, you know, helps us meet the quota basically, and obviously he just gets to start ahead of people. The reason he's called Richard Head though is because we did sign this player. And I'm going to say his name very slowly for the sake of YouTube. His name is Mike Hunt. That is his actual name. We haven't nicknamed him. Obviously, we do get nicknames in the game, but as you can see, that is his actual name. You can't help but think his parents weren't particularly fond of him. Maybe they didn't plan him. Next Gibraltar that we managed to sign, Julian Valerino. Again, he's been a really solid addition. He is one of our Gibraltars that we're using up front. He's not great at finishing. In fact, he's not particularly great at football, but we've got him in a pressing forward role, sometimes going into the middle depending on who we're playing. And yeah, he can't finish really. He scored 3 goals, but he's a good player to have in the mix, and he's helpful in sort of build-up play. So I'm not too disappointed with this signing. Be nice to have someone a bit better than him though. And the other one, this was the big one. This is the one I was really excited about getting. We got in Mapenda Mbao on loan. Now, he's a Senegalese player, but he does also have Gibraltar nationality, dual nationality for them. And I believe that's just because he's been at the league for so long. Really, really solid centre-back. Actually, like an actual good player that happens to be Gibraltar. So we've got him in on loan. It would be nice to bring him in on a permanent. I don't know if we will. Does his contract run up with them anytime soon? Sadly not, but he's not crazy expensive, and depending on what we get for money, could be a good player to bring in permanently for the team. Here are our non-Gibraltar transfers, though. This one's possibly my favourite that we've brought in. Nicolas Brito, an Argentinian that we're using in an Enganche role. I don't know why I say Enganche in like a French accent. I know it's Enganche, but I always just say Enganche. Makes me laugh. He's been amazing. 19 goals and 8 assists in 20 games in the league. That's bonkers. That is absolutely incredible from him. Really, really well-rounded player. I actually think he'd be a decent player for like a championship team, or at least League One level. But yeah, really, really good player for us. Really solid. And unfortunately, he's already decided he's leaving at the end of his contract. And it looks like he's going to be going to Malaga, which, to be fair, fully deserved move. If they come in for him, they get him. Next one. This one's a really, really exciting one. Will Jääskeläinen, yes, son of ex-Bolton legend goalkeeper Jussi Jääskeläinen. Really, really happy with this. We noticed him right at the start of things when we were trying to sign players as a free agent. Tried bringing him in. He wasn't interested. He basically said, nope, not a chance, not going to join you, I'm not going to Gibraltar. But he was still unemployed by the January transfer window. So we went in again. He agreed to join us on trial, and bosh, he was signed pretty much at the start of that window, which was great. Just before that, we brought him in, but he was eligible to play by then. And then just some slight improvements to the team just across the board. We brought in this defender, Kai Thomas. Looks really, really good. 20 years old, 24 years old, good determination, very aggressive as well. Solid looking centre back. Again, I can't ever think he'd probably do a job in like a League One team. So could be worth checking out. Something like that looks pretty decent. And the last player in that we've got is Weverton. I don't know if that's technically the correct way to say his name, but I'm pronouncing it Weverton. And is being utilised as like an advanced forward. He was brought in again end of the January window just to kind of bolster the attack a little bit. But we've looked really, really good, and I do think it is partly down to our exciting new tactic. Long gone are the days of the hammer. Welcome in the Gallagher. And here it is, our Gallagher formation. It's an interesting one. We've gone for a 4-2-1-3, with 3 strikers up top, 2 pressing forwards and an advanced forward. That Enganche role just behind them again, which is kind of exciting. My usual choices for a double DM'd team, deep line playmaker on support and a ball-winning midfielder on defend. Wing backs and then centre-backs just playing normally, and then just a regular goalkeeper thing. And essentially, the way we've got this going is this front 3, basically, as soon as we lose the ball up top, they just charge. They just charge at players. And when we lose the ball maybe on our own half, as soon as we've won the ball back, it's given to these lads. They get into a slightly interesting spot, maybe around here, just inside our own, inside the opposition's half, and lump the ball into the box. And one of these 3 lads will get on the end of it and score a header. We've scored a lot of headers this year. It is based off a gegenpress. So as far as like all of these side of things, it's exactly how we played the hammer, but we've got this. Obvious reasons for naming it the Gallagher was because there's 2 very famous Gallagher brothers from the Manchester area. Not Man United supporters, famously. They are Man City fans. But I did have a think about it, and there was also a comedian called Gallagher who used to smash things up with a hammer. So I thought, interesting development from the hammer thing. Fun. And yeah, here is our team that we have been playing. They've been really, really solid. I've been enjoying it in Gibraltar, and it feels like a bit of a shame that we've kind of rattled through the league so quickly, because it would have been nice to sort of hung around. We have only got 3 months left on our contract, well, not even that, 2.5 months really, whether it's renewed or not. And this is going to be the big thing, because ultimately it's dependent on a few things. Obviously, I reckon we're going to win both of these things. Like I say, we've got 5 games left in the league, 10-point lead. We win 2 league games, we've won that. The game after that is the final of the Rock Cup. I feel kind of confident we're going to win that as well. There would be one other trophy to win, which is the Pepe Reyes Cup, which I think is the equivalent of the like the Community Shield that they have over there. So I feel like we'd want to stick around and get that. But then pretty much as that's done, I think we're probably going to move on. We might try and do a whole second season, because I think if we win the Rock Cup, you get European football. And not that I think we'll do anything in European football, but it might just be a good way to just bolster the finances of the club. And then once we've got a serious wedge behind things, we can maybe start to, help improve them or not. But that's going to be the plan basically with Gibraltar, with Manchester 62. We're going to finish off the season and the cup. And that's going to be happening live on Twitch. Obviously, as that is pretty much where I do all of my FM saves, which you can come and follow me over on twitch.tv/DeeBoiPlays. Once this video is live, so if you're watching this this video as it's just come out, I'm going to be live on Twitch pretty much straight away doing that save, playing those last few games. So if you want to come hang out, you'll get to see how we get on in the league, how we get on in the cup, and more than likely how we're going to improve the team, because we've got 6 games to play, and then it's going to be kind of rebuild time again. I think we're going to be losing quite a few people if we actually look at the squad. In terms of players that their contract ends, we've got Jääskeläinen, we've got Pons, we've got the loan ending there. Richard's going to be out, you're already leaving, and then we've got quite a few players as well who will be gone. We've basically got to try and nail down a few of those Gibraltar players, maybe try and bolster the team in other areas. But yeah, we're pretty much, I feel like it's nailed on that we're going to do well. But the only way to find out is to come and hang out on Twitch. So hopefully I'll see you there. But that's how everything's gone for us so far in Gibraltar. Like I say, life at Manchester 62 has been really, really interesting. And I've enjoyed being in this league. There's a little bit of me that was thinking maybe we should have started in Gibraltar, because it is the lowest of the leagues that we could have managed in. But I think starting in Slovenia made the most sense. There's less options there. Basically, you can be any team in Gibraltar with a save like the one we're doing, because they're all on the coast. They all play in the same stadium. But yeah, that's where we're going to wrap things up though. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I hope to see you in the next one. If you are enjoying what you see, please make sure you give me a little like and a little subscribe. Until then though, look after yourselves. Laters!